back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I created this rose and chocolate heart gift for Valentine's Day. So if you'd like to learn how, then just keep on watching.
For this project, you're going to need flowers of your choice, some wet foam that I got at Walmart, toothpicks, scissors, Ferrero Rocher or chocolate of your choice, a heart-shaped gift box. You can also use just regular gift box shape, some decorative paper filler. You can get that at the Dollar Tree, as well as the cello wrap I got at the Dollar Tree as well. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to unwrap my wet foam, lay it flat so that it is not so tall. I'm then going to take the box heart and push it down onto the wet foam just so I can get the outline of the heart. That way I know what shape to cut the wet foam from. My camera stopped recording, but basically I just went around the heart shape indentation that I made and I cut off the excess wet foam. I was using scissors, but I do recommend that you use a knife. Once I have my heart shape, I'm going to cut it straight down the middle, because one half I'm going to get it wet for the flowers and the other half is going to be for the chocolate. Now, with your wet foam, it does come with instructions on how to properly submerge it, filled with water to make sure that it all completely absorbs in water. All you have to do is get a bowl of water, drop it in, and it will submerge within minutes. As you can see here, it is soaking up. Once it is wet, it does turn a dark green. Once it completely submerged on its own, I did let it sit there for another 5 minutes just to make sure that the insides were completely wet. While that was soaking, I took my cello paper and measured the width of it, cut the size that I needed. I took this one, I then folded it in half. I cut it to where it gave me two evenly sizes. The cello paper is used so that whenever you put the wet sponge, it does not wet the box. And all you're going to do is push it in and outline the inside of the box. I did 2 layers. You can do as many as you would like, but again, this is to secure your box from getting wet from the wet foam. So I had both the cello papers going opposite directions, so kind of like a cross on the heart to make sure that all edges were covered. This is what it looked like. Don't worry about the excess that goes on top, because when you put the wet foam, it will come down some. Now time to place our wet foam. Lift it above the bowl of water. Make sure that all the water stops dripping before you take it to put into your box. Also remember which is your top and which is your bottom. There is my top section. I'm literally just going to squeeze it in. As I squeeze it in, the cello paper goes down with it. Now that I have the wet top in, I'm going to place in the dry one. So just the opposite side. Again, the wet is for my flowers, the dry is for the chocolate. And I'm going to repeat the same process with the bottom one. So make sure that all the water is out before putting it into my box. Shimmy in the wet side, and then place in the dry side. Notice how the cello paper went down with it. All the excess that is left, I'm just going to cut it with my scissors so that you cannot see it. So here we have half wet and half dry, cutting off the remaining excess of the cello paper. Now, time to prep my roses. What I do is I take off all the excess leaves on the stem. I cut the stem at a 45-degree angle. I had probably anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of stem. I did measure it up next to my box to see how far up it would stick. And I'm just repeating the same process with all of my flowers. Here I am measuring it up next to the box to see if I need to cut the stems any shorter. I'm going to prep all of my flowers before I begin sticking them into the sponge. Now some roses do have guard petals on the outside. They're just kind of there to protect the rose, but they do have a different color. Sometimes they have a little bit of green. I just slowly pull those back and pull them off to expose the beautiful rose. This part isn't necessary, but I like to have my roses look as pretty as possible. Now, time to place our roses into our box. I start at the bottom and then make my way around. You're going to grab it from the stem and push it in at a slight angle. And just repeating that process, I went around the outside of the box first, making my way around the curve and pushing the roses as far in as I can. Again, you're going to grab from the stem and push straight down. I didn't squeeze mine too close together because I did want to give them some room for them to bloom. Now I'm finishing off the outlined portion of the heart. Now this is what the outline looks like. Time to fill in the holes. Again, grab from your stem and then just push straight inward. I noticed that there's a hole there, so I'm going to take an extra rose and just push it straight in. If you cannot hold the stem of the rose, grab it from the lower part of the rose, so kind of like where the stem meets the flower, and you can use that to push it in. Now that I have my roses filled, I'm going to take the crinkle cut paper and fill in the dry side to prep for my chocolates. What I'm going to do to each of my chocolates, I'm going to take one of the toothpicks, stick it in the backside of the chocolate, and then just like I did with my roses, starting from the bottom, pushing them in, and then going my way up to the top of the heart. Again, repeating the same process for each of the chocolates, putting the toothpick on the underside of the chocolate and then pushing it straight into the dry foam. This part is a lot easier than the roses, and these I did try to put as tightly together as I could to keep from any holes popping through, but that is also why we put down the crinkle paper. Now the lid of the heart, I just put the arrangement on top of it. That way I don't have to worry about trashing it. That's what it looks like. And here is the final product.
It was super easy, super cute, very inexpensive. I think I spent maybe $20 total. And it's so cute. That is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Please let me know down in the comments what you would like to see in the next video, and I will see you in the next one. Adios!